Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports.
Coach, there are a few cities finer on a clear afternoon than this one, and we have a picture-perfect clear afternoon. Heck, you can see all the way to Mount Rainier in the distance here at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Baltimore Ravens and the Seattle Seahawks. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll have the speedy Tyrod Taylor calling the shots, the former Virginia Tech Hokie from the 32 now. Here's 1st and 10.
Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up, D. 6 guys. Check 6 guys.
Now a carry by the third-year man. This is Austin Eckler. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Check safety, check safety.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a trunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 1st down, Seattle, 16 yards the gain there. So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 36. Out of the gun, it's Taylor. That's complete to Austin Eckler, the running back. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a 1st down.
And there's the first tackle of the game for Carl Joseph. He's one of those safeties that you can utilize in any way you want. But I will have to say, I think the number one thing he does best is tackle.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another 1st down.
Okay, I'm not so great at math, but I just looked over at our statistician, Marvin, and he signaled to me 5 for 5 to get things started here on this opening drive. Where I come from, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Now, what do you do defensively to adjust?
Well, this is where you've got to make a decision as a defensive coordinator.
And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Austin Eckler, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks take the ball down the field and score on the opening drive. Zerline connects on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here are the Ravens now as they get set for their opening possession. They will be led out by a 2nd-round pick in 2019. Out of Missouri, it's Drew Lock.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe he leans on a few other parts of the offense and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
It's a 45-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And coming up on their second drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice, that it all came together. But I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
From the 31, Taylor gets this one to Juszczyk. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense, because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
All day, dog.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Taylor. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. Back deep, Jakeem Grant. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Ravens will get it. 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
On 2nd down, it's Jacobs. And this may be a carbon copy as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. That's the rookie with a catch, A.J. Brown. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
Ain't too soft. Coming, baby. I'm coming, baby. There we go.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down. Locke going to try and throw on 3rd down. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
And that negates a pretty decent punt return.
And the goal is to gain a first down on a punt return, which is 10 yards. This was much more than that, but it is going to come back due to the illegal block in the back.
On 1st down, it's Taylor. Complete. Hunter Henry with the ground. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on field.
Holding offense.
That's on the guard, Kevin Zeitler, first-round pick back in 2012.
Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. We all
From the shotgun, it's Taylor. He's got room. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's picked up by the Ravens. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Here's Taylor. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 25 yards that time. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from.
Philip Dorsett by himself. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Philip Dorsett with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play in the end zone. This is taken at the 3. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. They will run the draw with Jacobs. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. Throwing his lock on 3rd down. And he's got Snead. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Locke. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger.
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Willie Snead, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there.
Ball, full half to be played. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops, and if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
Taylor incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Taylor to throw. He completes it to Henry.
Holding offense.
So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
Now Taylor to throw. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Sets up a 3rd down and 18.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Play action. Now Taylor. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it. At a potential turning point as they'll get the football in very good field position late in this first half. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as some of the division races starting to take shape as we look around the NFL here in week number 7. We'll begin our tour out at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, and they are seconds away from halftime, all tied in that one. From there, let's head over to New Era Field to see what's happening with the Bills, and they were winners in that one over the visiting Miami Dolphins. A 3-touchdown differential in the end.
The second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They're close game, but they're good. Going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. A run there on first down gets 3 up to the 28. Derek Wolfe there on the tackle. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
Ready, ready.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun on third down, Locke. That's caught by Penny. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
Now that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
On first down, it's Jacobs, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Once again, it's Jacobs, and he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 7 yards there and a first down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Here's Snead as they run the jet sweep, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
On second down, Jacobs. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Excellent placement, and off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determined that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. So, what they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how do they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
Oh, that's you, partner. Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. So that play much needed there as they're all the way up near the 40 for a 1st and 10. Now a man open down the middle of the field and able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A good pickup there, a 22. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. This guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Trying to turn the corner, but they string him out and stop him at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Taylor will throw again. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Kyler Fackrell coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd and long. Taylor and company hoping to regroup after the sack. From the gun, it's Taylor. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The first defensive back taken in this year's draft, Darnell Savage there to knock that one away. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. And the safety, Carl Joseph, there to knock that one away.
Now that's just simply good coaching and excellent technique on that play. You know why? Because everyone wants to rush the passer when they want to throw the football, but you're not always going to get there. So what are you taught to do? When the ball's finally thrown, get your hands up in the passing lanes, and they batted that one away.
No. No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the 4th. Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the off.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hadn't had a lot of time to throw the football. I like the way I said that, in his defense.
In his defense, I got it.
See what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
From the gun on 3rd down. Lock. And that is incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
One score down, here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Lock going to go on 4th down. It's caught, Smith. And now this is going to be close. The defense says they stopped him, and they did. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Now Taylor on 1st down. He'll find Metcalf. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. Taylor now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Now Taylor from the gun, he'll throw. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Metcalf once again the target, and it's 2nd down.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And he's going to be taken down here, still a couple yards short of the 1st. It's a pickup of 3, but it brings up what will be an interesting 4th and 1. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They're looking at a 4th down now as they try to hold on to this lead for dear life.
Check, check. Lucky.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Taylor. And no, it's incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Ravens are going to get the football back. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. I've seen, you and I both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here, 4th down play, make sure you're focused just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
An incomplete pass on 1st down, that leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Locke. Brought in over the middle by Grant. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
50, plant. Hey, tight end right. Watch tight end. 4 down.
They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time, because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
They go with Jacobs. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down.
They had to convert there on 4th down, and they ran the football. Major surprise, but they pick it up. Now they got to really hurry.
So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark, really, start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is it just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The last catch did get 3, but they're still left needing 7 yards on 3rd down. Back to throw. Locke. And nearly intercepted there. That would have been ball game if he had clinched it and caught it. Instead, it gives him one more chance here on 4th down. Nearly an interception. If that one's picked off, it's over. So a new lease on life, so to speak.
A lot of times when you're in coverage, you're so focused on the man and the coverage that sometimes the ball, if it arrives, it surprises you. That may have happened to him in that situation.
Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. Locked to throw for it on 4th. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's knocked away and incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it would appear that the Seahawks are going to win this football game. So that's the second time this game they've given it up on fourth down. They're now 1 for 3 on fourth down conversion tries.
But they must feel good about what they're doing, right? They continue to go for it on fourth down. Give the defense a lot of credit, though. They've stopped them 2 out of 3 times. Usually you have fourth down plays that you have dialed up and ready to go and you think are going to be successful. Not so far in this game.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Taylor going to throw it. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Philip Dorsett, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
And that touchdown should make you feel comfortable. But do you really feel like it's totally over yet?
Not totally, but I think you're pretty much there.
Yeah, you've still got to make sure you stay with it, do all the right things down the stretch, especially on defense. But that touchdown there, you've got to feel good about your chances.
This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So the Ravens now down on the scoreboard. 43 seconds to go. And they're in danger of a 3rd straight loss as they come up on 1st and 10. Play action. Now it's Locke. He's got Smith here. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore 1st down. Here's Locke. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Locke going to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. He was looking for the rookie A.J. Brown there. And it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. On 3rd and long, it's Locke. Now a desperation throw. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off by Troy Apke. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be 1 kneel and then handshakes. Now one final throw here is incomplete, and that is how this one will come to an end. So the victory here for Seattle, and it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Seahawks, the win moves them up to 5-2 now on the year. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, things are definitely going south quickly as they fall now to 1-6. And they'll get an extra week to think about it as the midseason bye might be coming at just the right time.